Hello guys, today we're going to proceed with writing task 1, a complex one, which is maps. So it's very rare that during IELTS exam we're going to face with this kind of writing task 1, but anyways, when it happens you have to be ready to be able to answer to the questions and to write your writing task and to get higher score. That's why we're going to do this explanation, and we're gonna start to analyze, and we're gonna use example and my answer on it, and I'm pretty sure that it's gonna help you to get higher score in case you're gonna face with maps. So as you can see here, we have north and south, west and the east, and the part between north and the west is going to be northwest, and the part between north and the east is going to be northeast, and the part between east and the south is going to be southeast. So, and the part between west and south is going to be southwest. So why I'm explaining this, I know everyone knows it, but it could be better to repeat all of this kind of just simple things, because sometimes we can forget it. So it's better to practice and to be to remember it, and to be able to answer, to describe what you see on your map, and to get orientation where it is located. Here, when we have to describe in which area on the map it is located, we're supposed to say in the north or in the southeast, which is here, and in the west part, which is somewhere here on this part, so in the western part. So basically the same. This is just options how to write when you are describing your maps, and don't use the same word, just to say this part, this area, in the west area or in the south area. Some kind of tricks would be very helpful when you face with maps. So when you write a sentence, I put here some example how to make it easier. Let's say the building was constructed, and then further we just can say, in order to get more words, because as you know we have a limit of 150 words, not less than that amount. So it could be better to put in a passive way, just saying there was a construction of the building. So as you can see, we have here more words compared to the first sentence. It could be helpful for you when you realize that you don't have that much information to describe in your writing task 1, and you can use this kind of tricks to use passive in order to get more words. I hope you know, guys, from my previous videos, that an article a or there, it is words, it is counted as words, and when they count 150 words, they know that they should take into account articles. So here I was just using verbs, which could be very helpful during explanation, during describing of your map. So this word is demolish, and you can say demolition of it, ruin and ruining, knock down, knocking down, destroy and destruction. This is basically synonyms. You can use them when you want to describe that something was destroyed and another building was built in another map within some kind of period, when you see your map during the exam. So further, when we just say about the trees, I just put an example of the synonyms when you want to say in case these trees were chopping down. We can use these kind of synonyms: fell, cut down, or you can say cutting down, chop down, which is chopping down, basically as synonyms, cutting down of trees, chopping down of trees, and felling of trees. So also about the prepositions which we can use during IELTS exam, which is mandatory to be used. So in front of, when we use in front of, we use when we are in front of some kind of building, or in front of something, we just say in front of. This means to be outside of somewhere. And at the front of, which means to be inside of the somewhere, let's say some kind of chain store or some kind of shop inside of the some kind of mall, let's say, just an example. Also another preposition which we can use, it's behind. So also when we are saying the sides, we can say on the right side, on the left side. We can say opposite. In case of opposite, you can see from this example, just like this part is opposite to this part, let's say, or this part is opposite to this farmhouse opposite to old factory, or this mansion gardens is opposite to old factory. When it's saying opposite, you have to use the word opposite. So another near, next to, and close to, all of these synonyms, and you can just say when you have something near to something. Let's say we have mansion house next to mansion garden, or we can say we have farmhouse next to post office, and we have, let's say, post office next to the park, and all of this kind of examples will be used when you want to describe near to something, next to something, or close to something. And when you say around, it is something around of it. So let's say a farm around these trees, and let's say about a street which calls Manson Line, and the post office around this area. You can use that around in order to describe on your what exactly you see on your map. So between, we can use that this Manson Drive road is between all of these two buildings, or you can just say that post office is located between park and houses, and a lot of examples could be used even from through this map. We go further to across. Let's say we have here trees across the river, or we can use, we have this road across this river called Wells. So another example is along. Along is like along this street we drive, we have Mansion House, we have Mansion Gardens, we have Old Factory. All of these kind of examples will be very helpful to do your maps task. So further, I put some vocabulary for your maps. I hope this will be very useful. I put all of them in one place. It's going to be easier for your use. So lay, we just say in past simple laid, and we say put, place, replace, transform into, develop into, convert into. And when we say about zone, we're supposed to be very clear: residential zone, industrial zone, agricultural zone, commercial zone, recreational zone, and also these prepositions like instead of, in place of, in lieu of. All of them will be very helpful vocabulary when you are working on your maps task. So further with an example. So here we're gonna read the task. Resource of templation it calls, and you should spend about 20 minutes on this task. The map shows the changes that have taken place at the seaside resort of Templeton between 1990 and 2005. Summarize information by selecting the reporting and reporting the main features, and make comparisons where relevant. Write 150 words. So as you guys can see, we have two maps, which one map is showing this residential area in 1990, and the second one is shown in 2005, and we need to write what kind of changes were done within this 15-year period. And let's go to my example answer. So first of all, as I already explained in my previous videos, as line graph or bar chart, pie chart, you can see that first of all we need to reword first sentence, and we need to explain what exactly we see on our task. So here I just written away the maps illustrate how the seaside resort of Templeton transformed during a 15-year period from 1990 to 2005. As you can see, I use here the word maps because we have here first map and the second map. That's why be careful, don't use the word map because you see two different maps. It's not the same. It was done during 1990 and 2005. It's different years. That's why I consider them as different maps, and they use that word in plural form. So further we go to, this was introduction part, further we go to body paragraph 1. So here what exactly we have? We're gonna compare, so let's say we are gonna describe about the southeast part. So in the southeast part, as you can see, a lot of changes were done, and we're gonna write about it in our body paragraph 1. According to the maps, in the southeast part of the Templeton, there was a demolition of cottages and all trees were cut down. Instead of them, there was a construction of a huge supermarket, and in front of it, multi-floored houses were built. So as you can see, this part, southeast part, it was demolished. All of these trees were demolished, and instead of them, some supermarket was built, and this road is still here, and these trees were cutting down, and the supermarket was built here, and this happened in 15 years period. And also in front of that supermarket there was also houses, cottages and trees, and they were cut down, and multi-floored buildings were built. We are describing about this part first. This is first part, and this is second part, which we're going to describe in body paragraph 2. For now we're describing what had happened within this left side. In the left side, supermarket was built, this was cutting down, and the multi-floored houses were built there. So we have to describe that a new road was built there, and as you can see further, we are saying a new road was also laid between the supermarket and the buildings. So here, as you can see, this new road was built because you can see here it was slightly changed, because here a new road was built, so this road still kept as it is, but a new additional road was built between this new supermarket and these multi-floored houses here, and we are describing about it. So here, in addition, the area close to the lake where a large house used to be was converted into a residential zone with trees, with 3 multi-floored houses. So in the area where a large house used to be, a couple of multi-floor buildings were built there. So as you can see, we just go with the main, which just pops out when we see or compare the maps, and further we go to the top, and where we can see that this huge building, huge cottage was demolished, and the new multi-floored buildings houses were built there. So further we go to the body paragraph 2. We've done with describing of the left side of the road, and we go of the lake, and we go to describe of the right hand side, what had happened within right hand side. First of all, you can see that here was trees which were cutting down, and the airport was built there. This remained as it is. Here tree and a house was demolished, and here nothing has changed, and here instead of these cottages and trees, a new factory was built. And further you can see that this railway station was that short here, and it was extended along all of this sea, and as you can see, a new ferry was built there. So we're gonna describe this shortly in the body paragraph 2. Let's start body paragraph 2. Regarding another side of the river, in the north side there was a destruction of cottages and a chopping down of trees. In place of them, a new factory was built. So we are, that's the thing which pops up in our view. It's a factory, and we're going to describe it. And they were saying that these trees and these cottages were cutting down, and a new factory occupied that whole area. So further we just say in addition or additionally, and we just here say additionally. The area close to another coast of the lake, there were trees where the trees were replaced by a new airport. In the east part there was, okay, so we're gonna say about this is a river, and this is coast area, and on the right hand side this is a coast area where these trees were chopping down, and instead of them a new airport was built there. So further we say in the east part there was a railway station which was extended along the river. So as I mentioned before, here there was a railway station and it was extended along the river, so we're just describing that one. So, and also it was crossing here, as you could see. So we were just saying that it was extended. So further, a ferry was constructed to carry passengers in the cars across the sea. I've shown you this ferry, and you can see a car. You can mention that it was constructed in order to allow passengers to cross the sea, and for the cars as well, as you can see here, cars. So we can describe about that for sure. And this final part, we're going to write a conclusion which had happened within this year, and we have to analyze. We described everything. In the conclusion part, we don't have to say a lot. We just have to use one or maximum 2 sentences to describe what exactly happened within 15 years. So, as you guys know, I usually start with the words to sum up, because it has more words instead of writing summarizing. So I used to sum up. During the given period, Templeton became more populated, and its transportation system was improved noticeably. How we can say about populated? You can see these cottages were replaced with multi-floored houses. More people started to live there. That's why I use populated. And in case of transport, since this railway station was extended along the sea, and a ferry was provided there, and you can see this kind of bridge in order to provide these rails. It was also crossed across this lake, this river, let's say. So and also ferry was provided, so it means it developed. And here we can see that factory was built there. We can also mention about it, but I didn't mention because too much, but you can also mention that industrial improvement was also done within this area. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I tried to make it very helpful for you. So good luck with your IELTS exam. Have a good day. Bye.